Deke, have you been seeing this buzz that I've been seeing? Have you been hearing about the buzz?
Yeah, the news stopped me in my tracks Saturday
You
morning.
know? It's rare when that type of news gets. I'm like, whoa, hey now, whoa. Does this have? Oh, it has legs. Wait a minute. Whew.
I mean, I hope this guy's right about his sources.
I hope so too. I mean, because
he's very confident.
We do know, we've all seen the clip though. That's the one thing we can all hang our hat on. We've seen the clip of Coach T talking to Chase, and we know that love is there.
And Chase Young having respect for the Steelers and Big Ben.
Absolutely. We know that's there. That's documented facts. So at least we got one of those eggs in that basket. But yeah, how do you believe the sources, man? You believe them?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, exactly.
At this stage, the way Omar Khan has been operating, why not? I can't just be like, no, this ain't gonna happen, no, because Omar been.
I got
cooking,
nothing
bro.
out there, no other reporters out there refuting it.
Because of Omar. Omar's been working,
if we have who would be a guy that we would really trust within
Dulac?
Steelers? Yeah, him or Kaboli or someone maybe. They
Yeah,
came out and
like that,
really refuted it. They're like,
Right.
there's zero chance this Chase Young stuff's happening. Like, it's just all speculation. No one's done that yet. Yeah.
So it does give it legs. I look at it like this, man. When you talk about Chase Young, the player, when healthy, man, yes, this was a freak athlete who has production, who gives you top flight talent, and ultimately shows why he was the number 2 overall selection. The problem has been just since his rookie year, he really hasn't been healthy. Whether it was tearing the ACL or then coming back from it. So with that, it has definitely changed the perception around him in terms of how dominant he can be, or if he's just a good player, or if he's a player that some people are going to view as overrated or a bust. To me, I lean more to he just hasn't been healthy, because I look at that rookie season and I think of what a rookie season is like, and I think of the production, and not just from a numbers perspective, but the actual styles of him getting these numbers. We talk about it. All sacks aren't created the same. All tackles aren't created the same. All tackles for loss aren't created the same. And it's plays that you make that you don't even get a statistic for, but you made the play. That's Chase Young rookie year when he's healthy. That was why if you remember when we did our top 10 outside linebackers or edge rushers that following year prior to him getting hurt, I had him in my top 10 because I already saw what he did that first year. And I'm like, I think you might have. I don't know. You might have. I know I had him in there though. And I was just like, man, to me, everything that I saw from that first year just screamed that as long as he's healthy, he's going to take off. Problem was he tore the ACL. And since then, this has been a little bit of that process of, all right, now that the team has decided to not pick up his 5th-year option, all these bells go off. What's that mean? What is going on? It just basically means that they're not willing to take on what they were going to have to pay him if it was that 5th year because of where he was drafted at. You look at the numbers on it based on what he's produced thus far. That's why they were hesitant. And I get that. But it also makes sense for teams to know that he's available. That means that, hey, if you want to have interest in this guy, potentially acquire him before he hits the open market where everybody gets a chance to make a bid on him. This is your chance. If you want to make a trade for him, you can do that. It kind of sends you that signal. And because of how Omar's been operating, that's what really makes it legitimate.
So that's really the thing that sparked this because they declined his option, a month ago or something. We've known this. But then it was back-to-back reports, I believe, on back-to-back days where a Commanders reporter, or I don't know if it was a Commanders reporter, but someone
one of their guys,
something came out of the Commanders camp saying, like, Chase Young is available. Commanders are open to trading Chase Young. And then I think a day or two after is when we got Steelers are legit interested
in him. Yeah.
And it's for this and this reason. Yeah. One of them I heard, because I actually listened to his little spiel about it, and it was good. He's like, within the Steelers organization, they looked at last year and saw that if we're missing T.J. Watt for an extended period of time, it's just different. So if you're able to get a Chase Young with that talent, who's the former number 2 overall pick, we might be able to weather the storm a little bit better if you have a dude like that. Because I know we got Marcus Golden, but he's not Chase Young.
Let's talk about it. I want to talk about all the guys in that room, man.
And luckily, we got him for a contract that shouldn't deter us from getting a Chase Young. It's not like we're paying Golden 4 or 5.
You're 100% right, man. You are 100% right. This isn't a shot at Alex Highsmith. Alex Highsmith had 14.5 sacks. But this is the one thing that me and you have talked about repeatedly while it was going on in the season. And then even after the season, when we started to talk about Highsmith and contract and what numbers should look like for him, we said, even though he had 14 and a half, when TJ was gone, it was times where we felt our pass rush was non-existent. It was games where even though he would get a sack or even have a sack and a pressure, it still didn't feel the same as if it would have just been TJ Watt out there. And Coach Tomlin jokes about, he was joking about it in his press conference today. They call, Highsmith an elite Robin. And it's not necessarily
he said that?
Yeah, he did. That's Coach Tomlin said that. He's an elite, right? He jokes about it, but he's like, yo, that's what he calls him. But knowing how Coach Tomlin is, if he's telling you this media-wise, that's what he tells him. Because he wants to push him, but he also looks at him like, you're not TJ. TJ is Batman. We know what that is. Can you give me that type of impact? Not just numbers, but that type of impact when TJ's not here. And that's one of the things that they're challenging Alex on, and rightfully so. And for him, that's his next step. All right, you got the double digits. Okay, cool. The next step is be that type of guy. So we're going to see, can he take that next step? Chase Young, first year, was showing you that. Chase Young, rookie year, where you don't even know everything, where you're still burnt out from just playing a full college season, All-Stars, Pro Day, Combine, and all this other stuff. You don't even get a full offseason. So it's like you could still see Chase doing certain things. Even his shape alone. I mean, when you talk about his size, that doesn't look like TJ. It doesn't look like Alex. Doesn't look like Marcus either. That's a freak. But that's also why it was the number 2 overall pick. So talent-wise, it's definitely there. I even think the fit's there. The money is the real question. We know it's an $11 million cap hit.
I looked into it a little bit. Someone on Steelers Depot
talk to me nice now.
Said the team trading for Chase Young would only have to take on around 5.
Okay, well, that even makes it better. Now the real question becomes, what do you give up? Is it a player and maybe a 4th? Is it a 2nd or 3rd by itself?
Dotson, Green, and a 5th. We get it done.
If they would take it, I don't think they take in Green. I think throw Green and take Green. Dude. Come on. Why you throwing them in there? The same way you just laugh, right? It's like they watch the same tape. You watch the same tape that I watch. Why you throwing them in there? Yeah, they like, bro, we know what this is. We just try to give us a body. Yeah, Dotson, cool. That's just a body right now. Like, he's got to prove that he can get back into it. But
he could be a starter for the Commanders. I don't think their O-line's anything good, right?
All I'm saying is the same way you smirking, they watch the same tape that you watch. That's all I'm saying. All right, they watch the same tape that you watch. It's not a shot at Kendrick, but to throw him in there like that's going to spice it up a little bit more. Like, oh, you get him and a pick.
Like, that opens up a roster spot for us to pick up Quan after the Young trade.
I see how you work, and that's how you cook.
See that?
But I will say this too, though, man. If I wouldn't give up a first for him. I would not do that. I just want to clear that up. The best I would do is a 2nd if I had to do it completely by itself, but I really don't want to do that. That would be absolute worst case. And the only reason I would do that is if TJ or Highsmith went down
mid-season trade.
Right. That would be the only time I would feel like I have to do that because.
Oh yeah, you got to. Yeah. I'm with you. Right. I would even borderline think first at that point. Right. If we're winning, if we're like 5-1 or 5-2.
Correct. If one of them went down, then absolutely, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get that guy in here. Even though it's a 1-year rental, I would look at it like Baltimore to Roquan Smith. When Baltimore identified that that's what they needed and that's what they wanted and that was their player, they went and got him mid-season, brought him in, and they ended up paying him after the season because he produced. The big thing is this, the timing of it. If you do it before you pay Highsmith, it's a great move. Because if Chase does what he's supposed to do, this 1-year rental, you essentially turn that into the guy that you pay. The problem
I don't like the feeling of that.
Right. I don't either, but that's
it's a bad look, I think.
It's a bad look, but it's business. Why are we even talking about Chase Young, right? It's business. Because if we're talking about just the feelings of it, it should never even be a conversation about bringing Chase Young in when you have Alex Highsmith and who's developed in 3rd round and all the storyline. But the business says this guy is a freak. This guy has potential to be a dominant player for the next 10 years because he's only 24 years old, going into his 4th season in the NFL. Former number 2 overall pick. So with that, it's like, yes, we love this player. Yes, this player has a relationship here. But this talent, this production, and the potential with this is so greater right now that's why you have to make that type of decision potentially. But that's why for me, I'm back and forth on it because what message are you sending to the rest of your team?
Yeah, because you mentioned business. Like, that's business.
That's business,
too.
but it's cutthroat.
No, I'm saying that could be bad for business.
That's
because
what I'm
you want to keep the vibes in the locker
right.
room, keep the vibes for the guys that you drafted, the guys that are in-house. You want to keep that high.
If I'm a third rounder and I done bust my tail like Alex Highsmith and got better each and every year, and I finally have my breakout season, and then instead of you paying me, you bring in Chase Young, and you tell me, hey, you guys are gonna compete for it. You're the starter, Highsmith, but you know Chase ain't sitting on no bench. Chase ain't sitting on nobody's bench. So now we're looking at this thing and it's like, there's tension, regardless of how they would work the relationship out, because as professionals, you look on common goal and you agree and you make that the focus. But that would naturally create tension when you know I've done everything and I'm finally supposed to get paid, but I know for a fact you being here is going to keep them from paying me my full worth, or them even potentially paying me, because they might be waiting to see what does this look like. Because if I can get this to be what it was supposed to be with a TJ Watt, but because you only done it for realistically your rookie year and now it'll be this fourth year, I ain't even got to pay you all the way. I could give you the little discounted rate, and I got Chase Young, TJ Watt for the next couple of seasons. Like, that's how you look at it potentially, but that's the business. That's very cutthroat.
Now, what I was hearing from him, I got to give him credit too. I think his name was Jeff Hartman.
Yeah.
He said the Highsmith deal is separate from this Chase Young trade. That they think the Chase or the Highsmith deal is going to happen no matter what.
Because the Chase Young trade is a singular thing, but what I'm speaking on is if Chase is on our roster and he goes out there and gives you anything close to 10 sacks or anything where he looks dominant, who do you think they're going to be wanting to pay after this year? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but if they get the Highsmith deal done this offseason, it's already too late.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. So that's what I said, the timing of it. When are you bringing them in? Do you bring them in before, or is that after that deal is done? Because you
can't get the deal done after you trade for him, though.
You can. I just think it complicates it a little bit, though, because if I have Chase Young on my roster and I haven't paid Highsmith, well, why am I in a hurry to pay you right now? What's the incentive for me to pay you?
It definitely helps the leverage for the Steelers. There's no doubt about it.
What would be my incentive to pay you if I have Chase Young? You gonna sit out? I could fine you because you're under contract. You're still cheap. You're under your rookie contract. You have to play. And if you don't, and Chase Young goes out there and balls, well, who you think will get that money I was about to give you? Because y'all both would be essentially on a 1-year deal at the same exact time. That's the business stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, when are you bringing him in? If it's before he gets that deal, I do think that it's going to complicate it a little bit.
Naturally.
Yeah.
I get you.
Because it's like, why am I paying you now? I don't have to feel that urgency anymore because I got this guy already here. Whereas as long as he's not here, shoot, we can't be like, hey, man, we're going to go out there with no Highsmith this year. We ain't feeling that all the way. Nah. That'll put us back in a little bit feeling light at that position. But right now, he got leverage. So we'll see, though. It's going to get interesting, though, bro. It's going to get interesting.
I think you just do it. I think the 3-man. Oh, dude, I feel like this is the type of move you make. You're trying to win Super Bowls.
This is Super Bowl type of move, though.
It gives you insurance at the edge rusher.
This is elite depth because now you're talking about having waves of high-end starter caliber.
Yeah, I just think you do a 3-man rotation between the three.
It's Philly. It's Philadelphia, bro. Philly did a 4-man rotation. Brandon Graham was a 10-sack guy coming off the bench. And he wasn't the first guy off the bench. He was the fourth. He was their fourth rusher, bro.
That could be Golden.
That's what I'm saying. Like, seriously, Golden's already double-digit guy multiple times. Like, having that, man, that's that we just going to whoop you in waves and waves and waves. There is no drop-off. Like, that'd be crazy. But you could do it when you have a quarterback on the rookie deal.
And you mean to tell me Chase Young wouldn't be motivated?
You know he would be. Come on, bro.
Like, I wouldn't even care. Like, bringing him in, I would just feel like it's a 1-year rental. You know what it is, but I feel like it's worth it.
And for him, not only do you get a chance to play for the Steelers, a legendary franchise, but you're also going to get a chance to make a ton of money. If you go out here and ball, whether we pay you or somebody else pays you, you're going to get paid. Number 2 overall pick, you play the sexy position called pass rusher. We know what that is. And it's going to be a ton of eyes on you because the Steelers are going to be winning. They already got the primetime games. We've already talked about our expectations. So if you're a part of that and you're one of those guys, you're going to get paid. So across, I think for Chase,
I think it works for him a lot, too.
Absolutely. It's a way better organizational situation.
Like, you go to a team, they're going to be expecting you to be the alpha you were your rookie year. You probably feel that way, but I bet you it'd be better for you coming off this injury to be a third. We talked about this with Bud Dupree.
You come here, bro, you're like, them first 6 weeks, man, the expectation is not the same because we have TJ Watt. And we know what TJ's going to do. We got Highsmith still. We know what that's going to do. Chase would just be like all right, now if that does what we think it's capable of, man, this is just an amazing scenario. But you're right. We're not going to be looking at it as we have to have this thing return to form and be the guy. Whereas, like you said, Chase
you're taking a fly.
Yeah, if Chase went to anywhere else, man, or some of these other teams, they're going to look at him like, yo, you're supposed to be a guy now. Like, I know he went to Buffalo. Yeah, we got Vaughn. But it's like, nah, bro, you better be him. You better be in that rotation. Yeah. So, it's one of them things, though, bro. But we'll see, though, man, because the way Omar been cooking, man, you never know. You never know.
Could we do both? A little Chase Young and Isaiah Simmons trade here? Weren't those guys both in the same class?
Were they?
I think they were.
Simmons, big athlete. You know, I like Isaiah Simmons, man. Don't play now.